So, hello students. So, we have Soundrasugan and Manimaran. Welcome to the class. Uh, is there anybody else? You guys are doing good? Yes. So, hello students. So, we have So in our last class we have seen in the last class we have seen variable acceleration. We have seen motion in a straight line with variable acceleration, right? So we have still 4 topics to be covered, and sorry, our last class we have seen variable acceleration. We have seen the concepts. Is my audio clear? Students, is my audio clear? So we have seen variable acceleration, and we have seen the concepts of variable acceleration. Now we'll just jump into the problems. Okay, now we'll just jump into the problems. Welcome Priyadashni, welcome to the session, and so we'll just look into the problems. So is my audio clear, students? Soundrasugan, is my audio is clear or not? Is my audio clear? I'm waiting for your reply. Okay, so we have Soundrasugan, Priya, Manimaran, and everybody is watching. So in the last class we have seen about variable acceleration. Okay, so we have seen the concepts and the example sums. Now we'll just work out some previous year medical entrance questions. Okay, so we'll just go with the first problem. So this is our first problem, variable acceleration. The first problem is, they have said the motion of a particle along a straight line is described by the equation. They have given the motion of a particle. They have given the motion of a particle as a equation. So in that x is equal to 8 plus 12t minus t cube. Okay, so where x is in meters and t in seconds. The retardation of the particle, this we have to underline, the retardation of the particle when its velocity becomes 0. The retardation of the particle when its velocity becomes 0. So here they are asking the retardation. So what do you mean by retardation? For example, if we have an object here and it is moving in a straight line, okay, in this direction, so that is in the positive direction, so the acceleration will be positive, right? The acceleration will be positive. So in case if we apply a brake, okay, so what happens, the acceleration is acting in this direction. When we apply a brake, the acceleration acts in the negative direction. Okay, so this is called as retardation. So this is called as the retardation. Okay, so retardation is nothing but the negative acceleration. Negative acceleration. That is, retardation is equal to minus of acceleration. Sorry. So minus of acceleration. Minus of acceleration. Okay. So they're asking the retardation of the particle. Retardation of the particle when its velocity becomes 0. So first we have to find till acceleration. Okay. So we'll just I'll erase our whole thing and So as you can see, this is the displacement as a function of time. S is equal to f of t, right? So S can be, we can change it as x. So x is equal to f of t, displacement as a function of time. So so this is, as you can see, this is a function of t here, right? So x as that is displacement as a function of time. Now we have to, when the displacement is a function of time, then v is equal to, v is equal to dx by dt. To find velocity, we have to find the derivative of x with respect to time. So that is d by dt of 8 plus 12t minus t cube. So when you find the derivative of this, 8 becomes 0, 12t becomes 12, and minus 3t squared. So this is velocity. Okay, now we have to find the acceleration. So acceleration A is equal to dv by dt, that is d by dt of 12 minus 3t squared. So it becomes, when you differentiate 12, it becomes 0 minus this 3t squared becomes 2 here. 2 will come to the same side, so minus 6t. So A is equal to minus 6t. So they are asking when its velocity becomes 0, the retardation of the particle and the velocity becomes 0. So when velocity is 0, velocity is equal to 0. Okay, so when velocity becomes 0, we can have 12 minus 3t squared is equal to 0. So when velocity becomes 0, we can find the time. So minus 3t squared, take this 12 to the other side, is equal to minus 12, and this minus minus will be cancelled. So 3t squared is equal to 12. So t squared is equal to 12 by 3, right? So 4. So t is equal to 2. So at velocity is equal to 0, t is equal to 2. At velocity is equal to 0, t is equal to 2. So substitute this t is equal to 0 in this acceleration formula. So that is A is equal to minus 6t. So A is equal to, we are just going to substitute the time value here. So minus 6 into 2, that is minus 12 meter per second squared. This is acceleration. Now we have to find the retardation of the particle. So retardation is minus of acceleration. Retardation r is equal to minus of acceleration. So that gives minus of minus 12 meter per second squared. So it becomes 12 meter per second squared. So this is the D option is the right answer. Okay, so we'll move on to the next question. I think it will be clear. So a particle moves a distance in time t. A particle moves a distance in time t according to an equation x is equal to t plus 5 the whole power minus 1. The acceleration of the particle is proportional to. So we have to find, they are asking the acceleration of the particle is proportional to. This proportional word is very important. This proportional word is very important because what do you mean by proportional? If some variable is proportional to some variable, so then the proportional is there is a multiplicative relation. There is a multiplicative relation between the variables. That is called as the proportionality. Okay, that is called as the proportionality. Proportional is defined as the multiplicative relation. If some variable is equal to some variable should be as proportional to another variable. So they are asking the acceleration A, is it proportional to either distance the whole power squared or distance the whole power minus 2 or velocity the whole power 2 by 3 or velocity the whole power that is proportional. Whether A is proportional to velocity the whole power 2 by 3 or something like that. So we have to find the proportionality. Okay, so we'll just find the acceleration of the particle is proportional to, so we just find up to acceleration. So we know what is x, right? So there should be a multiplicative relation. Okay, so we have to find the relationship between acceleration, distance and velocity. Okay, so they are not saying it is not equal. Proportional doesn't mean it is equal. It is not equal. Okay, proportional doesn't mean it is equal. Proportional means it is a multiplicative relation between the quantities, whether acceleration and distance and velocity, they are connected by a relation, or multiplicatively as in terms of multiplication are they connected to each other. So that's we are going to see. So they said x is equal to t plus 5 the whole power minus 1. So in order to find v, so as you can see there is displacement as a function of time. So x is equal to function of time, displacement as a function of time. So x can be, it can be distance, displacement and everything, you know that. So x is equal to, I can write it as 1 by t plus 5. 1 by t plus 5. So because of this minus 1 power, I can write a x is equal to 1 by t plus 5. So I'm going to find out v first, because we need acceleration and velocity. We have to find both acceleration and velocity. I'm going to find out v first. Okay, sorry. So v is equal to dx by dt. Okay, so that is d by dt of t plus 5 the whole power minus 1. So when we differentiate, minus 1 into t plus 5 into minus 1, right? N minus 1. Okay, so it becomes minus 1 into t plus 5 the whole power minus 2. So that is, we can write it as minus 1 by t plus 5 the whole square. Okay, so it is in the inverse form, in minus 2 power inverse. So I'm just getting it into positive inverse. Okay, so minus 1 by t plus 5 the whole square. So this is v. This is v. So what they are saying right now is we have to find the acceleration. Okay, so let's find the acceleration. So acceleration, I'm writing here, a is equal to dv by dt, that is d by dt of d by dt. Students, if you have any doubts, kindly write it in the comment box. Okay, so d by dt of v I can write as minus 1 into t plus 5 the whole power minus 2. I can write it as like this. So if I differentiate it, it comes around minus 1 into minus 2 into t plus 5 into minus 2 minus 1. So this minus minus becomes plus. So 2 into t plus 5 power minus 3. So we can write it as 2 by t plus 5 the whole power cube. Okay, so with this we can find the relation between, this is acceleration, so this we can find the relation between acceleration and distance. So it becomes 2 into 1 by t plus 5 the whole cube. I can write it like this. We know what is x, that is x is equal to 1 by 1 plus 5, right? Sorry, t plus 5. Okay, x, this is the x. Okay, so x is 1 by t plus 5. So we can write a as, I'm writing like this, we can write a is equal to 2 into x cube. 2 into x cube. So the relationship between acceleration and the position is this. Okay, so a is equal to 2x cube. Okay, because a is 2 into 1 by t plus 5 the whole cube, and x is 1 by t plus 5. So if you give a cube here, it will becomes a, right? So a is equal to 2x cube. Okay, so this is the relationship between a and the position, that is the distance between acceleration and distance. So you can see here, like, what is the distance here? If we want to, like, I'll just remove this thing. Okay, so we have found out a is equal to 2x cube. Now we have two answers here, distance the whole squared and distance the whole power minus 2. If distance the whole squared, okay, so when we do that distance the whole squared, does it equal to x? No, it won't be equal to x, okay, because t plus 5 the whole power minus 1 into 2, it will become t plus 5 the whole square, right? If you have distance squared, that is distance x is equal to t plus 5 the whole power minus 1. If you give it squared here, it will not become a relationship to a. If you you can work out this probability also, C, whether we can check whether it's C option. So distance x is equal to t plus 5 the whole power minus 1 into minus 2. It will also give a proportional value to a. It will not give a proportional value to a. A is equal to 2x cube, so it will not give a relationship between distance and acceleration, because the acceleration is a is equal to 2x cube and x is equal to 1 by t plus 5. Okay, so when acceleration is 2x cube, x is equal to this. Okay, and these options are wrong. Okay, we cannot have these options. So now we'll just find out the velocity, whether velocity, can it be write that as, where can we find a relationship between velocity and acceleration? So what is velocity? V is equal to minus 1 by t plus 5 the whole squared. So first we'll find the relationship between velocity and distance x. Okay, so as we know, x is equal to 1 by 1 plus 5. So v is 1 by t plus 5 the whole squared. So how to obtain x from here? V is this, v is equal to minus 1 by t plus 5 the whole squared. So how to obtain x? So in order to obtain x, we can say that v is 1 by 2 is equal to, it is proportional to x. Like, you know, we can see whether it goes or not. So we can say x is proportional to v power 1 by 2. V is equal to minus 1 into t plus 5 the whole squared, right? So what is v power 1 by 2 is, we can substitute the power here, the whole power 1 by 2. So what happens? Minus 1 the whole power 1 by 2 by t plus 5 the whole squared into 1 by 2. So these two and these two becomes cancelled. So what happens is root of minus 1, because 1 by 2 is root by t plus 5, that's out because the power has been cancelled. So root of minus 1 is actually imaginary number, so t plus 5. We can, for that imaginary number, in real number we can write as 1 by t plus 5. So it gives x. Okay, so x is equal to v power 1 by 2. Okay, so when x is equal to v power 1 by 2 gives x, so x is proportional to v power 1 by 2. When x is this proportion, then velocity of this proportion. Okay, so now we'll find out the acceleration. So in order to find out the acceleration, we'll just have this 2x cube here. So we have already found x is proportional to v power 1 by 2. Okay, so what they are saying is x is cube. Okay, and we have to see if this x cube in acceleration gives what, or when a is equal to 2x cube, if we substitute this to velocity, what value it gives, let us see. So v power 1 by 2 the whole power cube. Okay, so what happens? V power 3 by 2. So v power 3 by 2 is, what is v? Minus 1 by t plus 5 the whole squared, the whole power 3 by 2. I'm writing it here. So it is like minus 1 into 3 by 2 by t plus 5 into squared into 3 by 2. So these two will be get cancelled. So minus 1 the whole power 3 by 2 by t plus 5 the whole cube. So if you first we'll just in minus 1, okay, minus 1 the whole power 3 by 2 we have. So if we have minus 1 the whole power cube into 1 by 2 by t plus 5 the whole cube. So I'm just having that cube inside of minus 1, and after that I'm having a power of 1 by 2 here. I'm just taking this cube, that's this 3 inside this minus 1, and half 1 by 2 will be there, and it will give minus 1. So minus 1 the whole cube gives minus 1 the power 1 by 2 by t plus 5 the whole cube. So it will give minus 1 root by t plus 5 the whole cube. I'll write it here. So it becomes minus 1 by t plus 5 the whole cube, right? That is root of minus 1. I said it will give imaginary number, so t plus 5 the whole cube, it is 1 by t plus 5 the whole cube. So when a is proportional to, a is equal to 2x cube, and a will be equal to 2 into what is v power 3 by 2. We can write like this. Okay, this v of 3 by 2 gives a value of x cube. So what is v of 3 by, this is v of 3 by 2 gives 1 by t plus 5 the whole cube, that is x cube. Okay, so a is equal to, we can write as here, a is equal to 2 power v into 3 by 2. So as you know, in constant of acceleration, constant of proportionality, you know what is constant of proportionality? That is, if two variables are proportional to each other, x is equal to ky, we can say x is directly proportional to y, right? Because this is the constant of proportionality, right? So a is equal to 2 into v power 3 by 2. I'm taking this as k, that is the constant of proportionality. Then a is proportional to, a is proportional to a is proportional to v power 3 by 2. I hope you understand this. So this is the A option. Okay, so we'll move on to the next question. I think it will be clear. If you have any doubts, please hit in the comment box and I will reply you. Do you have any doubts in this question? If you say proceed, I will proceed to the next problem. Tamil medium, Manjula will put another live for that, okay, for Tamil medium. But also watch in English medium also. English medium is also important, so watch in English medium, and afterwards when we put out the Tamil version, then you will understand it clearly. So is it clear, this problem? Imran Khan, Sengodi, Imam Hussain, Chandrasekhar, Vigneshwaran. So I'll move on to the next problem. So here a particle moves along a straight line OX. Okay, a particle is moving along a straight line OX, O into X. Okay, and at time t, okay, in seconds. Good. So and the equation is given as like this: x is equal to 40 plus 12t minus t cube. 40 plus 12t minus t cube. How long would the particle travel before coming to rest? They are asking how long would the particle travel before it coming to rest. So when the particle moves along a straight line OX and it comes at rest, okay, and they are asking how long the particle travel. So at the start of the motion till rest, at start of the motion till rest, how much it has traveled. So they are asking the distance. Yes. Okay, so can you do this sum? But I'll give you an idea. So we have the equation x is equal to 40 plus 12t minus t cube. How long would the particle travel before coming to rest? We know at start, okay, at rest velocity will be equal to 0. Okay, when the particle is at rest, its velocity becomes 0 because there will be no motion, so the velocity becomes 0. So what we have to do is x is equal to 40 plus 12t minus t cube. You have to find v, velocity, that is dx by dt. Okay, so d by dt of 40 plus 12t minus t cube. And then what you have to do, Soundrasugan, as I told before, I will upload the Tamil version soon, okay, but this live version is for English medium. But I would insist you to watch in English medium also, and after that when you look into the Tamil version you will understand it clearly. So if you differentiate it, we can find v, that is 12 minus 3t squared. So at rest v is equal to 0. So 12 minus 3t squared is equal to 0. Now find out t and substitute in the position, that is distance equation, and you will get the correct answer. So you can tell me that answer, you can work it out and you can tell me the answer. I've given you the idea. You can work out this problem. So you have to find t. This is the boundary conditions before coming to rest. So we have to calculate till the body has come to rest, how much long it has traveled, how much distance it has traveled from the start to end, how much it has traveled. So they're asking the distance. So at the end, that is at rest, v is equal to 0. So we have found the velocity equation. Now substitute v is equal to 0. So, and if you substitute v is equal to 0, 12 minus 3t squared. Vigneshwaran, good, 56 meters, and Santosh Bhavani, good. So the answer comes to 56 meters. That is your right. That is equal to 0. So 3t squared is equal to 12. I'm just taking this 12 here. So t squared is equal to 12 by 3. So t squared is equal to 4. T is equal to 2. So if you substitute this t to this equation, 40 plus 12 into, I'll write here, so 40 plus 12 into 2 minus 2 cube, that is 40 plus 24 minus 8, it will give 56 meters. Good. Nitya, good. Madhu, good. Yeah, 56 meters the right answer. So we'll move on to the next question. A particle moving along x-axis has acceleration f. So the acceleration is f. Okay. At time t given by f is equal to f naught. Okay, where f naught and t are constants. F naught and t are constants. The particle t is equal to 0 has 0 velocity in the time interval between t is equal to 0 and the instant when f is equal to 0, the particle's velocity vx is. So they have given the acceleration formula. That is acceleration a is a function of time. Acceleration as a function of time. So they are saying where f naught and t are constants. When f naught and t are constants, what do you mean by constants? That it cannot be differentiated or it cannot be integrated, so they are constants. Okay, so in integration, when you know what is integration, when integration we have a constant of integration, right? So or else we have we'll also have, for that constant of integration, we have some boundary conditions also. So they have given a is equal to f of t, and they have given a keyword here. A particle at t is equal to 0 has 0 velocity. The particle at t is equal to 0 has, so when time is equal to 0, its velocity is 0. In the time interval between t is equal to 0, and that instant when f is equal to 0, that is f is a. At that instant a is equal to 0, the particle's velocity is. So we'll just calculate it here. So we know what is a. A is f is equal to f naught 1 minus small t by capital T. That is this is a. We need to find the velocity. They are asking the particle's velocity. So when we integrate on both sides, if we integrate acceleration, we get velocity. So velocity is f naught 1 minus small t by capital T. Okay, dt. Okay, so this is the integration. So if we integrate it, f naught into what happens here, 1 minus t squared by 2t. I'm integrating it, that is 2t power n plus 1 by t plus that is t power n plus 1 by n plus 1. So t squared by 2t. Okay, plus c. This is the constant of integration, c of I. I'm writing like this, constant of integration. So this is velocity is equal to f naught into 1 minus t squared by 2 power capital, that is 2 into capital T plus constant of integration. So how to find the value of this constant of integration? For that, as we seen in the last class, that is we have to use the boundary conditions. We have to use the boundary conditions. So boundary conditions is here. They have given the particle at t is equal to 0 as 0 velocity. So when t is equal to 0, t is equal to 0 means velocity at start. So that is motion at start. Okay, so when t is equal to 0, that is at start, v is equal to 0. So substitute that in this equation. So v is equal to 0 is equal to f naught into 1 minus 0 squared by 2 into t, right? 2 into t. So what happens here? Plus c. Okay, so c becomes 0. C becomes 0. The constant of acceleration c becomes, the constant of integration c becomes 0. So velocity formula is f is equal to f naught into 1 minus t squared by 2t. This is the velocity formula. Okay, now they are asking us, we know what is the velocity formula. So in the time interval between t is equal to 0 and the particle's velocity, that is the instant when f is equal to 0. So the time interval between t is equal to 0 and the instant when f is equal to 0. Okay, when acceleration f becomes 0. So there is a time interval t is equal to 0 and the instant when f is equal to 0. What happens when then t will become t, right? Okay, so first we'll just calculate this t is equal to 0. Okay, when t is equal to 0, what happens, and when f is equal to 0, what happens? We know what is t is equal to 0. The first time interval is t is equal to 0, but when the instant when f becomes 0, so we'll calculate this. So I'm just going to erase all of this. Okay, so substitute f is equal to 0 because we know the time interval. When we applied a limit, that is a to b, we know the value of a because that is t is equal to 0. But here they are saying the instant when a is that is f is equal to 0, a or f is equal to 0. So we'll just substitute that f here. Okay, so f is equal to 0. So 0, I'm substituting that f is equal to 0 in this equation. So 0 is equal to f naught into 1 minus t by t. So what happens here? Then we can say 1 minus t by t is equal to 0, right? when 0 is equal to f naught, that is constant, into 1 minus t by t. This is function. Okay, this is a constant and this is a function. Then this function t, 1 minus t by capital T is equal to 0. We can write it like this. Okay, I'm just erasing this. So what happens? So 1 minus t by t. Okay, so we can say that if, then we can just cross multiply it here. So capital T minus t by capital T is equal to 0. Take this t over here, it becomes 0. So t minus small t is equal to 0. So t becomes equal to t. So this is the instant. So this is the instant when f becomes 0. Okay, this is the instant when f becomes 0. So now we have the limits here. So now we have the time limit, that is we have to find out the particle velocity. We have to find the particle velocity between the time interval t is equal to 0 and t is equal to capital T. So we know what is velocity. So just apply this time interval here. Okay, and we have to take the limits of time. We have to take the limits of time. So we know what is velocity. V is equal to f naught into 1 minus t squared by 2t. So apply the limit, that is t is equal to 0 to capital T. So they are asking the particle's velocity between the time interval t is equal to 0 and the instant when f is equal to 0. When f becomes 0, then then small t, that instant, becomes capital T. So we are going to calculate this. So we can straight away calculate it, that is, when you apply limit, v is equal to f naught into 1 minus, in the place of t I'm going to write capital T squared minus 0 squared by 2t. Okay, I'm going to write this, and what happens here? So 1 minus t squared by 2t into f naught Okay, okay, so I'm taking this here. So 1 minus t squared by 2t. So this 2t will be going here. No, we can cancel this t here. That is f naught into 1 minus capital T by 2. So which gives 2 minus t by 2, right? 2 minus t by 2. Am I right? No. Just a moment. So here, sorry, I'm taking it here. So when we have limit, that is f naught into 1 minus t squared, right? So no, not t, 1 by t squared by 2t. We can take this t here, that becomes t by 2. Okay, 1 minus t by 2. So the answer comes to here is, oh, okay, the particle's velocity v of x is equal to, okay, so this is the answer, like it becomes f naught into 1 minus I think I would have wrote something wrong here. Okay, so okay, sorry guys, through in integration, when I'm integrating v, that is when integrating f, I'm integrating this again, so integration of f is equal to, that is a f naught into 1 minus t by t. So it gives, this 1 becomes actually, this 1 becomes t minus t by t squared by 2t. This is the sorry, I've done something, some integration, I've done a mistake, sorry. So while integrating this thing, that a, when integrating a is equal to, when integrating f naught on, that this 1 becomes t minus t squared by 2t, okay, into plus c. This is f naught. Okay, so as we know, the c becomes 0, so v is equal to f naught into t minus t squared by 2t. Okay, so substitute the limits of time here, that is t is equal to 0 and t is equal to t. So particle velocity f naught into t minus t squared by 2t into t is equal to 0 to capital T. So we can write like this, f naught into t minus 0 minus of t squared minus 0 squared divided by 2t. Okay, sorry, this is a minor mistake, sorry. So this becomes f naught into t minus t squared by 2t. So this t and this t will be cancelled, that is f naught into t minus t by 2. So this t will go here, so 2t minus t by 2 into f naught. Okay, so this becomes I'm writing it here, so this becomes f naught into 2t minus t becomes t by 2. So the options are I think it will be, you can have like, you can write like this, f naught into t into 1 by 2. We can write the answer like this. So it is the C option. Okay, sorry, I just done some mistake with the basic integration, I'm sorry. So you also be careful, because when you are integrating here f naught, I mean I'll write here, when integrating this f naught, this is a constant, you don't have to integrate, this becomes t squared by 2t and this one becomes t. Okay, this is a small minor mistake in that integration, sorry. I hope you understand this problem. So I'll move on to the next one. So this is a displacement x of a particle varies with time t as x is equal to a e power minus alpha t plus b e power. So this is a acceleration, that is this is a displacement as a function of time. So a, b, alpha and beta are positive constants. So when they say constants, then it cannot be differentiated or integrated. So the velocity of the particle will be they asking. So we know what is velocity. V is equal to dx by dt, that is d by dt of a e power minus alpha t plus b e power beta t. So if we differentiate it, this minus 2 will come here, minus 2 a e power minus 2 alpha t, right? And this b will become particle varies with time. Okay, so this becomes b into this beta will come here, b e power beta t. Okay, so this is velocity. So they are asking the velocity of the particle will be whether independent of alpha and beta, drop to 0 when alpha is equal to beta. We can write like this, that is, you know, minus 2 by a e power alpha t. This minus I'm changing into plus by inversing it, plus beta into b e power beta t. Okay, so they are asking the velocity of this velocity. So they are asking whether the velocity of the particle will be independent of alpha and beta, or drop to 0 when alpha is equal to beta, or go on decreasing with time, or go on increasing with time. So for different values of time, let us say when t is equal, t can be at start will be 0, and after that 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, like that. So substitute t is equal to 0 here. When t becomes 0, set minus 2 by a into e power alpha into 0 plus beta b into 0, right? So it becomes minus 2 by a plus, so e power 0 is 0, right? That is 1, sorry, e power 0 is 1, right? So beta b, so it becomes a positive function. So when you give t is equal to 1, minus 2 by substitute t is equal to 1 here, minus 2 by a into e power alpha plus b into e power, it becomes, sorry, e power t, sorry, e power beta. So this becomes positive function again. So if you substitute t is equal to 2 also, it will become minus 2 by a into e power 2 alpha plus beta into b e power 3, that is e power 3 beta. So it is increasing positively. So we can say for different values of time it is increasing. For different values of time, it is increasing. So we can say it is go on increasing with time. D option is the right option. Okay, so we'll move on to the next sum. So displacement of the particle is represented by the following equation. So we have s is equal to 3t cube plus 7t squared plus 5t plus 8. So we can say s is equal to f of t, that is the function of time. The acceleration of the particle at t is equal to 1. So the acceleration, they are asking the acceleration of the particle. What is the acceleration of this particle when time is equal to 1? I think you can work out this problem, right? You just hit me the comment box, hit me the right answer in the comment box. They're asking the acceleration of the particle, so we have to find velocity, that is ds by dt, and we have to find acceleration, that is dv by dt, and you have to find out what is that acceleration when time becomes 1. what is that acceleration value when time becomes 1. You can work out this problem and type the answer in the comment box. Vigneshwaran, which question you are asking? Vigneshwaran, which question you are asking? Sir, C is equal to F0. Okay, Vicky, thank you. Vigneshwaran, thank you for the answer. Anybody else? So what is the answer? Vignesh, thank you. What about happened to Bhavani, Nitya, Soundrasugan? Okay, previous question, C is equal to 0. Yes, you're right. Sir, C is equal to F0. F0 is a constant, so you know what, you're asking this question, so you're saying like, Vicky, this for you. So when we when we apply F is equal to 0, oh, you're asking that constant of integration C. Okay, so C is equal to, that is, what is the velocity equation? So the velocity equation is v is equal to t minus t by 2t the whole squared. So when t becomes 0, see, v is equal to, next one is for you. So v is equal to f0 into t minus t squared by 2t plus c. So they are saying that at particle time t is equal to 0, v is also is equal to 0. When t is equal to 0, t becomes 0 minus 0 squared by 2t plus c is equal to, velocity becomes 0, then c is equal to 0. Okay, Vigneshwaran, you get me? So c is not is equal to f0, it is 0. C is equal to 0. Constant of integration becomes 0. Oh, sorry. Okay, Bhavani, thank you. So answer is 32 meter per second squared. Thank you. So only 2 people are answering, Vigneshwaran and Bhavani. Is everybody online? Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Okay, shall we move on to the next question? Shall we move on to the next question, students? Hello, Dinesh. Shall we move on to, thank you, Vicky. So just we'll move on to the next question. The position x with respect to time t along x is given by x is equal to, again, x is equal to the function of time, where x is in meters and t in seconds. What will be the position of the particle when it achieves thank you, Nitya, thank you, Chandrasekhan, Bhavani. Okay, I'll start. So where x is in meters and t in seconds, what will be the position of the particle when it achieves maximum speed along the positive x direction? So here they're asking what will be the position of the particle when it achieves maximum speed along the positive x direction. So the particle is moving along the positive x direction. Okay, so here, what is the position of the particle when it achieves maximum speed? This is the keyword. This maximum speed is the keyword in the question. So we have to find out the boundary condition, maximum speed. Imagine if you are going in a highway. Okay, if you are going in a highway, you're traveling with a car or a motorcycle, you're traveling the highway, and this is your speedometer, and you're starting by with 20, 40 kilometers, 60 kilometers, and 80 is your final reading in the uh, speedometer. Okay, so you're going with the in a car or in a car or motorcycle, and you have reached this speed. This is the maximum speed. The speedometer cannot, the speed needle, it cannot go further. Okay, this is the maximum speed, 80 kilometers per hour. Okay, so you are here, you are traveling at the maximum speed. Okay, so what happens at maximum speed? Maximum speed, you are going with the 80 kilometers per hour. So we are traveling with from here you are achieving this maximum speed, and you are continuing with maximum speed till here. You are continuing with maximum speed. Okay, so at maximum speed what happens? So this needle cannot go further, it stays at 80 kilometers per hour. It cannot go further because it has achieved the maximum speed. So when there is maximum, there is no change in velocity. There is no change in velocity when you have achieved the maximum speed. When there is no change in velocity, then automatically acceleration becomes 0, right? So what will be the position of this particle when you achieve this maximum speed? So when you achieve the maximum speed, the acceleration will be 0. So you have to, you know what you have to do? You have to find first dx by dt, that is velocity, and you have to find acceleration dv by dt, and you have achieved at maximum speed, acceleration is equal to 0. From that you have to find time and substitute this time in this position, that is x, and you will get the answer. Okay, so type the answer. I think I have explained the concept. You can type the answer, you can work it out. So I have given you the idea, so you can work it out. I'm waiting for your answer. So what is the position of the particle when it achieves maximum speed along positive x direction? When it achieves maximum speed, acceleration is equal to 0. I'm waiting for your answers. A is equal to 54 meter. Thank you, Vicky. So Vigneshwaran has answered. What about the others? Santosh, Bhavani, Chandrasekhar, Nitya, thank you. So the answer is 54 meter. Okay, very good. Very good. So we'll move on to the next sum. Okay. The particle moves along a straight line such that its displacement at any time. I think you will understand this. T is equal to 2 seconds. Okay, Dinesh, what is the answer? You're still in this. Madhu, thank you. 54 meters. Dinesh, are you still working out? Thank you, Dinesh. So we'll move on to the next question. So this is the question: a particle moves along a straight line such that its displacement at any time t is given by s is equal to, this is the, so displacement as a function of time, they have given s is equal to f of t. This is a simple question. The velocity and acceleration is 0. You can find it out, and your time starts now. Tell me the correct answer. Come on, tell me the correct answer. Velocity, they're asking the velocity and they have given when acceleration is 0. So you have to find first ds by dt, that is velocity, and you have to find dv by dt, acceleration, and which becomes 0, so that you can find time and substitute the time in this velocity equation. D. Thank you, Chandrasekharan, telling D. Is there anyone with that answer? Vigneshwaran, thank you. Who else? Madhu, thank you. Santosh Pavani, thank you. So D is the correct answer, minus 9 meter per second. Okay, so that is the correct answer. So let's move on to the next question. If the velocity of the particle is v is equal to at plus bt squared, where a and b are constants. So when if they say a and b are constants, it is constant, so it cannot be differentiated or integrated. Then the distance traveled between 1s and 2s, 1 seconds and 2 seconds, is distance traveled between the time interval 1 second to 2 seconds is. This is also an easy question, because they have given the limits of time. They have given the limits of time. Okay, so they are asking the distance, that is you have to integrate it. That is here we have v as a function of velocity, as a function of time, right? V is equal to at plus bt squared. So they have given a definite integral. They are asking x, okay, with definite integral, that is that is limits 1 to 2 of x. They are asking, this is the definite integral. So how to calculate this? We just take the indefinite integral and we calculate when we'll substitute that limits on that result of that indefinite integral. For example, so we are taking, this is v. So if you if you integrate v, we'll get the distance s or x, right? at plus bt squared. So when you integrate v, then we get we can say distance as x, okay, then a t squared by 2 plus b t cube by 3. Okay, so this is x. We don't have to use this constant of integration, because here I have to write dt, sorry. So because we are going to apply limits, okay, so we are going to apply limit for this, that is 1 to 2. Okay, so they are asking the distance, right? The distance between the time interval 1s to 2s. So a into Vigneshwaran, a by 2 plus b by 3. No, it's not right, Vigneshwaran. You just have to, okay, you have to redo that sum. So so that x is equal to a into 2 squared minus 1 squared by 2 plus b into 2 cube minus 1 cube actually by 3. So it becomes a into 2 squared is 4 minus 1 by 2 plus b into 2 cube is 8, right? 8 minus 1 by 3. So it becomes 3a by 2 plus 7b by 3. So C option is the right option. Vigneshwaran, it's not D, it's C. Okay, C option is the right option. So this is distance. This is distance between the time interval 1 second and 2 seconds. I think you are getting it. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm blocking sorry, I'm blocking your view, I guess. So I'm writing it, this one here. So 4 minus 1 is 3a by 2 plus 8 minus 1 is 7b by 3. Okay, so C option, C is the right option. Okay, you're getting the answer, Vignesh. Thank you. C option is the right option. Okay, I think you're getting the answer. So I'll move on to the next question. A particle of unit mass undergoes one-dimensional motion such that its velocity varies according to v of x bx power minus 2n, where b and n are constants. So constants means it cannot be integrated or differentiated. X is the position of the particle. They are asking acceleration of the particle d. They are asking acceleration of the particle. Acceleration of the particle as the function of x is given by. So we have to find out the acceleration. Okay, so it is in velocity as a function of distance. So it is in velocity as a function of distance. Then if velocity is in function of distance, then automatically acceleration a will be the function of distance. In my previous class I have told you, if a is a function of distance, we have to use chain rule. That is, a is equal to v dot dv by ds. A is equal to v dot dv by ds. Okay, so if you find out that, we can get a. So first we'll find out dv by ds. That is dv by ds, that is equal to d by d. In the place of s you can write x. Okay, so b x power minus 2n. So that gives minus 2n. Okay, b x into minus 2n minus 1. Okay, so this is dv by dx. Now what is we have to get v, right? So we have to get acceleration. A is equal to v dot dv by dx. So substitute this equation here. So v is bx into power minus 2n into dv by dx minus 2n bx power minus 2n minus 1, which will give, so it will give b squared will be as minus 2 will be here and n will be here, and it will become b squared, and this x will become minus 2, and the powers will be added, minus 2n minus 1. So that is minus 2n b squared x power minus 4n minus 1. So this will be the answer. This is a. That is v dot dv by dx is equal to a. So this is the answer, which this A option is the right answer. Okay, A is the right answer. So A is the right answer. So we'll move on to the next question. If you have any doubts, you just comment, okay, and I'll just explain it to you again. Okay, clear? So we'll move on to the next sum. So this is also an easy question. The displacement x of a particle of mass m Actually this is easy, but what will happen, because now we are in motion in a straight line chapter, but after we complete mechanics, that is up to gravitation, and after we go on to oscillations and waves, and we go to electricity, magnetism and modern physics, that is dual nature of matter and everything, motion in a straight line is the last thing that we will revise before going into the examination. Before we go in to write the NEET examination, we'll just forget about motion in a straight line, but we'll remember all the other things. We'll remember loss of motion, work, energy, power and everything. Motion in a straight line, we won't give a lot of thought into it, because we'll say it is easy. Okay, but when you see this question in your examination, you will just panic, because see the displacement x of a particle of mass m. See this mass m in kg. So when you see this keyword here, mass m in kg, you will think to yourself whether it is coming from work, energy, power, whether this question is from work, energy, power, or moving in one dimension under the action of force. When you see this, you will think whether it comes from loss of motion or not. Okay, so for this you have to be confident with your concepts. Your concepts should be clear. So they have asked you in a tricky way, like the displacement x of a particle of mass m in kg moving in one dimension under the action of force. So they have given three keywords here: mass in kg, the action of force, and in one dimension. But these two are not of so use to us, because we are dealing with here one dimensional motion. We are not going to be concerned about force. We are not going to worry about force. We are not going to worry about mass. Okay, so we are just, when they say one dimensional motion, we are just going to be worried about the velocity, acceleration and other parameters, but we are not going to worry about force, and we are not going to worry about mass. Okay, so we are just going to the problem. So they said t is equal to root x plus 3. The displacement of the particle when the velocity is 0. What is the displacement? What is the displacement s when velocity v is equal to 0? Here you can write as, they are given t is equal to root x plus 3. For this we have to find out the displacement. So I'm just going to take this here. So root x is equal to t minus 3. Now square on both sides. So root x squared is equal to t minus 3 the whole squared. So x is equal to t minus 3 the whole squared. So we have found the value of x, that is displacement, x as a function of time. Now you can calculate. They are asking the displacement when velocity, we are asking the displacement when velocity v is equal to 0. So now you can calculate and type the answer. I'm waiting for your answers. Type in the comment box. Thank you Vigneshwaran, thank you Nitya. Anybody else? Is there anybody else? I have another one. Thank you Chandrasekharan, Bhavani, thank you. Anybody? What about Dinesh, Priya? They are not here. What about Madhu? They are not online. Are you guys online? Thank you Madhu. So the answer is 0. Okay, so we'll move on to the next question. the displacement of the particle varies with time. S is equal to at squared, that is S is the function of time. The acceleration of the particle at any given time t will be equal to, okay, actually the sum is like, the acceleration of the particle at any given time t, will be equal to, okay. So what we have to find out is, we have to find out the value of t here, not the acceleration, because in the previous sums, when you see the acceleration at time t is equal to 1, or they asking acceleration at t is equal to 2 or something like that, at velocity is equal to 0 or something like that. But here they are asking the acceleration of the particle at any given time t. Okay, so we can find out the velocity, that is the acceleration equation of the acceleration, and we have to find out the value of t. So I'll just go into the problem and you will understand. So we have to find out, to find the acceleration first, we have to find out v is equal to ds by dt, d by dt of at squared minus bt cube. So that is 2at minus 3bt squared. This is v. Now find out acceleration. A is equal to dv by dt. So d by dt of 2at minus 3bt squared. It becomes what? 2a minus 6bt. Am I right? So this becomes acceleration. So we have found out the equation of acceleration. But what is the thing is, oh, thank you Dinesh. Okay, Nitya. And the thing is, we have found out the equation of acceleration. They are asking the acceleration of the particle any given time t. So any given time t, so t can be anything. Okay, now I'm going to substitute, I'm going to substitute that a as 0. I'm going to take a acceleration value as 0, so that I can find the t value. Okay, so an acceleration, because we have to find the value of t here, because we have found out the value of acceleration, but they are saying any given time t, so that any given time t means we have to find the value of t. So substitute this a in that acceleration equation. So 2a minus 6bt is equal to 0, which gives 2a is equal to 6bt. It becomes 2a by 6b is equal to t. So it becomes 3. So t is equal to a by 3b. This is the any given time t. Because if you know the value of t, only you can find out the value of anything. Okay, so the correct option is B, a by 3b. Very good, very good. Dineshran, super, and Santosh Bhavani, super. So the answer is B, a by 3b. Okay, so we move on to the next question. So we have done all the questions in variable acceleration. Okay, so we have done all the questions in the variable acceleration. So this is over, this variable acceleration over, and we have 3 more topics to be covered, that is uniform acceleration and relative velocity, motion under gravity. Nitya B, thank you. Vigneshwaran, thank you. So there are 3 other topics are here, that is uniform acceleration, relative velocity, and motion under gravity. Next class will be like, I think you have a test in botany. I think on Saturday you have a test in transport and plants, so prepare well for that. And my next class will be like after I think after Saturday will be the, maybe on Sundays I'll inform you through Facebook group. Okay, so in my next class we'll just cover this uniform acceleration, and we'll just try to finish this relative velocity with the problems, and in the last class we'll finish the motion under gravity. So this chapter will be over. So your botany class will continue from 2 o'clock, that is for Tamil medium, and by 3 o'clock for English medium. So stay updated and be with us. Okay, so thank you for the live session. Thank you all. Thank you Nitya, Vignesh, Dinesh, Santosh, Bhavani, Soundrasugan, Madhu, Chandrasekharan, and Priya. Thank you all for participating in this session. Kadiravan, AKS, thank you all. So see you in the next class, and you have a class at 3 o'clock. Actually, you have a class at 3 o'clock for English medium and 2 o'clock for Tamil medium, and you have you have a QA discussion, medical entrance question discussion for, I guess now you're going photosynthesis. I think you're going photosynthesis. So photosynthesis questions will be discussed in the coming classes. So thank you all. Okay.